NectarzWithin, all about mind, life, and soul enhancement.
Sir, you spoke in length about you being kind, the value of kind, and probably in your life, in most of the important occasions, it is a sense of mentorship or mentors who contributed in your life, be it a teacher or professors whatsoever. So the role of mentor is really big in your life. What is that specific factor that made the mentors or others to volunteer to help you from your perspective, and how do you connect that with the so-called kindness, how important it is?
Mostly blessed by a lot of female influence. I would say growing up, the first person who was kind around me or who I grew up watching was my mom. She was always kind and taught me that there is always some good in people and not to hate people, but it's rather like look for the good things in people and see if that is something to remember them. So, for example, I would see my mom also as one of the mentors in terms of that. If I remember a life in moments, I would say the mentors in my life are probably the teachers growing up in school, who have been very kind and have taken keen interest, who have understood where this person is coming from, where I was coming from, and how they see the drive in me, the passion in me. But also, I was, as a kid growing up, you don't know a lot of things, and you only will benefit if you listen to people who have experience in life. So from the teachers, then when I speak about family, not everyone is blessed with also people other than your parents who actually will show keen interest. They usually the thing is that once your parents are no more, then it's usually you're alone and lonely, and then you're orphaned, they would say. But I never had that feeling, because like my father's sister, my paternal aunt, she has always been an influence growing up as well, because she was also a teacher. She was a headmistress. So when I was growing up, I always looked up to her. But after my parents passed away, also she took me into the family and then like was mentoring me. There were a lot of things I was not right in. Like I grew up with a lot of superstitions, a lot of. I was also because of everything that was happening, especially with losing your parents and brother and everything. I did have some pessimistic thoughts as well, and I was not where I was right now. So I think she played a very key role in mentoring during that phase to try to bring me to the positive side and like be more bit more have a positive perspective on life, optimistic, have faith, believe in something more than yourself, and try to believe that okay, the universe is working together with you, what we were talking before. So I think those things, if somebody ignores all of that, when someone is trying to really help you when it's not really their job, when they're really trying to help you for your own betterment, if you don't take that advice, I think you're at a loss. Especially when you're growing up, you don't have a lot of like people who are like willing to spend that much of time on you to there's a lot of people who can really just say, oh, this is not my job, and just go on. But if someone is really paying more time and effort other than your parents and your close family, if they're doing that mentorship, just take in all the help. And I think that is their kindness, to actually to go and help someone who they don't really have to, but they are doing that, right? That kindness is something that you can remember them for, and also pass that kindness to someone else. If you see others also, like anyone else who is going through a similar situation as you can also pass the torch and be kind to the other person as well. Teach them the ways of life. Maybe they will not appreciate it now, but over the course of time, sometime they will see, okay, this has helped me in this way, and then they will come to recollect it, like how I'm recollecting it right now. I think that is how I see mentorship. So their kindness, I don't know what they saw in me, but I'm really grateful for those mentors.
It's a magical wisp. You get something, you just choose something.
Yeah.
And the magic is kindness.
Kindness. Yeah.
True. How big it has played a role in your life, kindness?
I could not achieve anything that I wanted to, or any of the dreams I wanted to achieve, without the kindness of people around me. When someone is achieving things in life, you always look at okay, this person has done a lot of hard work and they have talent and all that stuff. We just, I think it is kind of called as the fundamental attribution error. It's one of the errors and it's kind of one of the biases. So whenever something happens, you usually tend to associate that with the characteristic or behavior of that person, but you never take into account the situational or the factors around them, the surroundings which have played a part. For example, if someone is coming late to office, you tend to think that this person is late because they are lazy or they started late to work. But you never think that okay, maybe on the way coming to the office, the traffic was bad. Something else could have happened on the way to work, like some accident happened. You never think about all that. You immediately attribute to that person. Similarly, when someone is succeeding in life also, it's easy for people to either think this person is lucky. That is one common thing people have also told me, you're lucky, which I feel it's just stupid. When I tell them whatever has happened with my life, they will take back that word. Lucky is not a word people should associate with that. But then they also think, oh, you have put in a lot of hard work and talent. But it's not just that. If people around you, if your surroundings don't really help you, there are so many things that can go wrong. So for me, in terms of life, I would say the scholarships, like I was speaking about before. If I didn't have the scholarships to study in school itself, I would have been in a different place, completely different place. Starting from, I think, 5th standard or something, till my 12th, I had scholarship. And then what happened, interestingly, was that during the board exams, my father passed away. And then I had to take care of my mother. She was bedridden. And then the suggestion was that I can do evening school. And I never envisioned that kind of a future. I had good scores. I always wanted to do say a bachelor in mathematics and go on to teach. I had different dreams back then. And when this was suggested as an option, I was like, okay, this is my life. This is how it is supposed to be. I will take it. It's okay. I was kind of in terms with it. But suddenly, again, a kind person came in the form of a sponsor who said, you have good scores in your science, so why don't you apply for engineering? If you want to do it, I will support you. So I applied. I got a good college. And without even questioning, for 4 years, they offered me the scholarship. Because of that, I finished my graduation. And then when I was doing my master's also, my family supported me with the processing of the loan and stuff, because it's not easy to come to Netherlands without having some kind of collateral or something. So my family, they didn't think twice. They said, okay, yeah, you have high dreams and you're capable of doing it, but they need to support, right? So they were the ones who actually pushed me and said, okay, you go ahead with this and we'll support you. So if I look at everything that I've achieved, there is hard work, there is, of course, that is there, but without the right push, the right kind of people who trusted in you, believed in you and supported you, say financially, emotionally, for example, by making me feel as part of the family, none of this would have worked, right? So it's easy to let go of these factors and attribute it to someone, but without that kindness that you show to people around you, that there is not much people can do. It's a very underrated virtue, I think, that is kindness. Also gratitude.
True. Do you think that there's a sort of a lacking, a scarcity for kindness in the current world, or amongst the people, or how infusing kindness and gratitude might help? So what would be your tip for people now? When you see, because you spoke about the bias and everything, because technically speaking, also bringing a sort of kindness might also eradicate a sort of bias. So you have any applications or tips here?
I think it doesn't take too much to be kind. It's a very simple virtue. It's a very basic human empathy to really be compassionate to the other people. And if you can help someone within your means, something that if you have that connection, you can definitely do that. I wouldn't say there is a tip for it. I think I think it is what which defines or separates us from the beasts, like having that kindness. I think even animals show that kindness towards each other. Unless they are not fighting for the same resources, they are usually kind to each other. But somehow, I think like we are kind of stuck in a rat race sometimes, and we are kind of led to believe that we are in this by ourselves, and we have to fight for our resources and safeguard it. That we forget that we are at the end a very collective being. We only achieve bigger things in life if we work together as a society. The more we try to, towards nuclear lives, I'm not talking about nuclear families, but the more you try to dissociate from everyone and try to only work for your own gain, while the rest of you is suffering, that's not going to really make you happy. Like that's another thing which I sincerely believe in, is that I'm not sure if many people will also agree, but something I've noticed is that you will never be happy until the people around you are happy. If you are the only one who wants to be happy while the others are crying around you, what joy does it bring? Like, you don't have people to have that joy with you, right? So so it's a very simple thing. This kindness is like a very simple thing. It doesn't have to be like a financial support or something. It can just be as simple as like some kind word to someone who needs to hear it at the right time. Very simple, but we take it for granted, I think.
If I see your life, you have put your hard work, you have put your skills, everything. You are in a very big position now. But you all attribute to that velvet layer, which is kindness. Yes, I kept my hard work, skills, talent, resources, everything on table. But the velvet layer is kindness. That took me long. So that's something also very important for human growth, and the development.
Yeah.
Let me just ask the same thing in a different way. Let's take the mentorship. You spoke about the mentorship, which comes from the kindness, so those things.
Yeah.
We spoke from the other's perspective. And now, in a view of having a relationship with self, how you could be a mentor for yourself, and how important it is to be kind to yourself from your experience.
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think that is the most toughest part of growth, that having that relationship with oneself. And I have to admit that I am not there yet, that I have like a 100% amazing relationship with myself. I am still learning every day. My soul may be like, centuries old or like a millennia old, but like in this body, it's been there only for some time. So it has only seen the experiences which I have had so far. So there is a lot for me to still learn. So every day I think I learn something that helps me look at things from a different perspective. And then I say, okay, yeah, this is another way to look at it. Like, learn this and then accept this and go on. One thing which I spoke before also, if you really want to achieve bigger things in life, or to have that, even this peace of mind, forget the word achievement, even if you want to have like a peace of mind, just taking ownership of your own challenges and trying to change is a very healthy relationship that you can have with oneself, because then you start relying on your talent, and then you see where you're lacking and try to improve on yourself. That is the most kind thing that you can do to yourself, because like without that you are really hurting yourself from developing. You are really trying to put all the blame on everyone else around you, and you're not really working on yourself. If you work on yourself, and imagine if the world, everyone is working on themselves instead of blaming the society, the government, the environment and the universe, God, whatever. If everyone is working on themselves, you'll be like so much better. So that is the kindest gift you can give to yourself. And second thing is another important thing that is happening quite a lot in this current world, is because of everything being virtual. Now we have this social media era, and thankfully we grew up also in an era where we didn't have social media, so we are able to see the with and without scenarios as well. It is easy for us to compare our lives with the social life of someone.
Yeah.
It's very easy. I do that a lot of times. Go on Instagram, look at all this amazing travels and picture perfect locations and like amazing
Wealth and
wealth. Not the wealth part that doesn't always fascinate me, but for some people it does. For me, it's like that happy moments that
Yeah.
people have, like, and I'm like very far away compared to my close family. I'm staying 7,000 kilometers from the close family. My schoolmates and everyone is back home. So sometimes I do miss that, and it's easy for us to get lost in that comparison motive. But then we also have to think this is not just there in life. This the ones there that you see online is just like a glimpse of like the 24 hours of a person.
True.
It's just like a fraction of a second that they take the photo or video or something. But then you see that and immediately put some value to it, and then you think of all the negative things about it. But rather you can also appreciate, okay, they're having the happy moment, feel happy for them. And then you can also like find your own meaning of happiness, like how you're talking about before, like finding your own happiness quotient is very important, and it is a lifelong journey. I don't think I'm there yet. Every day I feel I'm closer to the journey, and if I've reached that, I probably would have like found the meaning of life, I think. But every day I think like you have to make the journey towards finding your own meaning of happiness, trying to be by yourself, trying to be in just by yourself. I think we also associate a lot to finding a partner, finding a like a husband or a wife, and having kids. And I would have thought by now I would be like settled with kids, or my kids would be in school or something like that. And many of my friends are in that kind of a timeline, but I cannot compare my journey to their journey. What I have faced is not the same as what they have faced, and I don't know what they have faced also, because I don't know the full story as well. We don't have this conversation with people, right? So it's easy for us to do the comparison with other people and then like hate yourself for it. Each one's journey is different. We have to try to accept it as it is, and it's not easy. We have to just to try to find the happiness quotient, try to find the things which bring us joy, and trust in the universe that like it's just there to help you, and then it is trying to create your own unique journey. Everyone's journey is going to be super unique, like a fingerprint.
Exactly.
I think we have to trust in that process. I think that is something that you have to tell yourself, that self-love, just being with yourself, that is so much important, and not seeking the validation to have another person in your life to give you that love. If you have to like start loving yourself and believing in yourself and try to keep on improve yourself, I think these are the things which is very important that you can do to yourself.
And maybe if I like to just borrow your saying, what can I do now to look for my meaning?
Yeah.
And to elaborate my happy quotient?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah,
very nicely put. Whatever you have said was like it's just it's a mild drizzling of wisdom with a silver lining around the cloud. Thank you so much.
That's good.
Dear listeners, I strongly believe that this episode must have resonated with you. Lots and lots of takeaways from this episode. What is that one thing which was so inspiring you from this episode? Leave that in comment section. Can't wait to see that. And I definitely respond to it. With that note, thank you, Tadde, Namaste, and Vanakkam.
Transforming minds and enriching lives.